and never look at a headline, never think about stocks anymore, just like you would do if you bought a farm. You just buy the farm and let the tenant farmer run it for you. And I pointed out that if you'd put $10,000 in an index fund that reinvested dividends, and I paused for a moment to let the audience try and guess how much it amount to, and it would come to $51 million now.
The S&P 500 has surged over 60% since 2023, reaching multiple record highs. However, this growth is not broad-based. 7 AI-powered stocks, known as the Magnificent Seven, now account for approximately 40% of the market capitalization of the S&P 500 and are responsible for nearly all the index's gains. In this video, we unpack which companies are leading, how AI money is flowing in, why the S&P 500 is now an AI proxy, and what you should do with your money. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Brybooks channel. First, we need to talk about one of the golden rules of investing: diversification. You know, don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's hammered into us from day one. But what if I told you that for millions of investors, particularly those relying on something as seemingly safe as the S&P 500, that diversification might be becoming a myth? The S&P 500, it's the benchmark, the broad market indicator, the set it and forget it choice for countless retirement portfolios and investment funds. It's supposed to give you exposure to 500 of the largest US companies, spread across dozens of industries, and it's a bet on the US economy. It sounds perfectly diversified, right? Well, for many, it's effectively transforming into something else entirely: a tech mega cap fund, heavily reliant on artificial intelligence. Let's take a step back for a moment. The S&P 500 isn't just some random assortment of companies, it's a market cap weighted index, which means that the larger a company is in terms of market value, the greater its impact on the overall performance of the index. In other words, it's not a fair distribution of equal slices. All 500 companies don't hold the same weight in this financial pie, and that's where the real game-changing dynamics come into play. Consider NVIDIA. This one company, a powerhouse in AI chip development, has seen its stock price explode. It was up over 230% in 2023, another 170% in 2024. Today, NVIDIA alone makes up more than 7% of the entire S&P 500. Think about that. One company holding more weight than the bottom 224 stocks combined in the index. That's not broad diversification, it's concentration. And it's not just NVIDIA. When you look at the top 10 companies in the S&P 500, names like Microsoft, Apple, Google, Alphabet, Amazon, you're looking at a cluster of tech giants, nearly all of whom are making massive existential bets on AI. According to Citigroup's estimates, nearly half of the S&P's market cap has medium to high exposure to AI. So, if you're invested in an S&P 500 index fund, about 40% of your money is now tied to the performance of just these top 10 companies, overwhelmingly in tech and AI. The top 5 alone, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, Google, and Amazon, represent nearly 30% of the entire index. This isn't your grandparents' S&P 500 anymore. For years, financial luminaries like Warren Buffett and John Bogle championed S&P 500 investing as the ultimate set-it-and-forget-it diversified strategy. But in today's landscape, if your entire retirement portfolio is in the S&P 500, how diversified is it really? You are effectively making a massive bet on continued tech leadership and the success of AI development. Now, for some, this concentration isn't a bug, it's a feature. They see tech and AI as a future, the left lane of Ferrari driving growth, and they want maximum exposure. They argue that tech is the modern economy, and there's truth to that. AI is a fourth industrial revolution, reshaping everything. But for others, especially those relying on the S&P 500 for broad, low-risk diversification, this evolving reality presents a new challenge. If these tech giants face headwinds, if there's a correction in the AI space, or if regulatory pressures increase, a significantly larger portion of your portfolio could be impacted than historically expected from a diversified index. So what's an investor to do? First, know your exposure. Understand what's truly inside your ETFs and mutual funds. Are you comfortable with this significant tilt towards tech and AI? Second, consider alternatives like an S&P 500 equal weighted index fund. Instead of weighting by market cap, each of the 500 companies is given the exact same weight. This reduces the outsized influence of the tech giants and gives you genuine exposure across all 500 names. The downside, you might miss some of the extreme upside if the largest names continue to soar, but you also gain protection if they stumble. Third, think about true diversification beyond just the S&P 500. This means looking at international stocks, value stocks, small cap companies, and different asset classes like bonds. A truly diversified portfolio aims to spread risk across company sizes, sectors, and global regions to align with your personal financial timeline and risk tolerance. The S&P 500 is undoubtedly a powerful investment vehicle, and AI is undoubtedly a transformative technology. But as these two forces merge, it's crucial to understand what you're really invested in. Is your S&P 500 fund still the diversified bedrock you thought it was, or has it become a concentrated bet on tech and AI? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more insights, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.